So we got to go ahead and talk about a segment cut from this interview that Danny from the Stop did with Julian, which more on that at 6. But part of it where he did kind of explain why him and Demaris really don't get along.
This is how me and Demaris beef started.
Sure.
I swear this is how it started. I saw a clip of her slapping you playfully. It was still slapping. And I was like, I don't care if we're friends. That is not happening to me at my job and me not making a big stink about it.
You're right. I should have hit her back.
No, it's not. See, that,
my bad.
Oh, wait, I'm going to do the Rory talk. See how we doing this, man? That was what Rory was doing to me. But yeah, no, I just think I would be like, hey, don't hit me. Or don't do that again. And I would definitely send an email and CC my supervisors and all that. Now, I may be wrong for that, but I just think that is not right.
Well, like, you know what's funny? Like, in retrospect, and this is, I mean, it was funny. We let it slide in the moment, whatever. I'm not quite sure if anything came of it. I think it became a thing once it got clipped online, and then it was like, oh, you did. Yeah, it was you. But like, maybe, and again, I'm not the boss. It's not my company. But like, if something that happens, and it could be on camera, maybe they did this in the moment. I don't know. It was so fucking long ago. I couldn't tell you anything that was said on that show. Maybe she got checked, like, hey, don't do that or whatever. But like, also, I could have been like, hey, like, come on, like, don't. I don't know. I don't remember what happened in that moment. I also can't believe that became like a thing. But
it is a thing, man. That's disrespect, like, that you got to check immediately. Like, and I'm not saying, like, of course you joke about, like, I got to hit her back. No, you should never hit a woman. I want to be clear.
Wow, you're really going out on a ledge there with that
take.
take.
You should never hit a woman.
Yeah.
But you should definitely not go with me. Just a month?
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. You guys, man. You guys are always trying to trip me up. But yeah, that was the beef with Demaris, because she was like, how could you put that online? If my bosses were weak, blah, 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 they could have fired me. I want to cry.
Can I ask you a question? Why is this still, like, how long ago was that? Over a year ago?
That was probably before March. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, why does that still bother you? Like,
why does it bother me? It's not that situation bothered me. It's that there's been subsequent situations. There was that, and then the space, right?
What space?
The space where she talked about, like, I could have been fired because of you, Danny.
About the slap.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, it still ties to my initial question. Just like, why is that moment such a? It was never a moment.
It was a moment. It was not a significant moment.
You're making it a significant moment.
You've made it one. Rory just pressed me, man.
About the slap thing.
About the.
I'm not here to. I don't want to. I'm not trying to put on the gloves and finish the fight. I don't care. Like, I don't want to talk about.
I listen to Patreon, and she calls me creepy out of nowhere.
Dude, it's so fucking what?
No.
What do you what? Like, what gives a shit if someone calls you creepy?
Listen, man. You got it.
You are an online personality. Bad people call you.
Why can I respond?
You can respond.
Be able to say to me, why are you letting? I hadn't talked about her in a long time.
Yeah, but I'm saying with respect to, like, that's what you want to ask me about when it comes to Demaris. Is that
no? It's because it linked back to you, the slap, and then the slap react,
the slap,
and then the slap heard around the podcast world.
So you mean to tell me that this all started from when Demaris had playfully slapped Julian, which I don't even remember that. Somebody fill me in on the lore about that. I don't remember that at all. But it was a playful slap, and if it was a playful slap and if it was nothing serious, then I don't even know how she could have got fired for it. Because I'm pretty sure she's had to slap Rory and Mal upside the head a few times on the pod. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's had to do that. I'm kind of questioning, is what he's saying like an exaggeration, or is that like a real thing? Because a playful slap ain't gonna get you fired, but a actual one, like if it was a slap heard round the world, like you could be halfway across the room or a house and hear a slap, then I can understand that. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure that it didn't have to be clipped for her to get in any trouble. Because if it was something that Rory and Mal put out after the edits, then that's on them, and that's something they look at like, well, looks good to me. Like, that's something that they have to put their John Hancock on. You got to sign off on that. So if they signed off of a part of the podcast or a Patreon clip going out to the masses of her slapping the hell out of Julian, then I don't know how they would fire her if they're the ones who put that clip out, or if it's a clip of that happening. Then the question would become, did the slap happen outside of work? Was it like something that was recorded like for an IG story or some shit, or a reel? And maybe that's it. It wouldn't make sense, all I'm saying, if it happened on the pod, Rory and Mal put the pod out, it gets clipped, and let's say if it was a Patreon episode where he gets slapped, she gets fired because of a Patreon clip that they put out, knowing that people may have seen that in Rory and Mal's camp. That don't make any sense. Also, the bit where he gets called weird or creepy, I don't even think that's really nothing to harp on about. I mean, I can understand why she would feel that way if you putting out a clip that could possibly get her fired. But even then, it's just so much about that I just said, I don't even know where to begin. She has been on your ass for recording conversations in Discord, so there is that as well. But I don't think it's nothing to really harp on about and really hold to the chest that would trigger, or what would lead to a space on Twitter, which is still unnamed, and I can't find it nowhere because somebody deleted it or took it down somewhere. I wonder who. But all in all, the biggest thing that I'd want to touch on with this, I like how he's doing an interview with Julian, a former co-host with Rory and Mal. And they've kind of been going at it back and forth, even as recent as what, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, where Julian went at Rory and Mal. You ain't gonna be beating these instigator allegations, Danny. I'm just gonna keep it 100. I want somebody to look at me in the eye and say that Danny is not an instigator, even though you kind of interviewing Rory's ops after doing an interview with him that was damn near an interrogation style interview, specifically when it came about the whole Julian and Eden thing. And I know some people can say, well, those are the questions that people were asking and wanting to know. You ain't gotta sit there and grill somebody like you're Gayle King. Leave that to Gayle King. When you do interviews, at least from my point of view, you're supposed to have a solid interview that's so good that Rory may be like, well, shit, like I'll put the next person who is looking to be interviewed in a seat near you to do an interview, because I really felt like it was a great time. I had a great time. And you never know, like you give a solid interview, you roll out the red carpet for the guests, and you treat a guest as such. You don't interview or interrogate a guest. That's bad business. Where would a lot of podcasters be right now if they were just grilling every guest they've had on, whether it was Breakfast Club, whether if it was Joe Budden podcast, whether if it was $1 million worth of game? Hell, they wouldn't even be at the level that they're at if they were over here interrogating people on their show. It's the same thing with the whole Joy Taylor thing. I know this is a little side quest, but some people, not a lot, it wasn't, that many people bitching and moaning. Some people was complaining, why didn't Joe or Rory and Mal grill Joy Taylor about, that whole essay lawsuit that she was involved in that everybody talked about? Even though, okay, cool, let's say she can talk about it, I still don't think it's in the best interest to interrogate a guest when you're trying to make them feel as comfortable as possible. Also, Shannon Sharp wouldn't be as big as he was had he grilled everybody that was on his platform on Club Shay Shay. The only thing that people ought to be wanting to see is who you interview, and leave the questions for the interviewer, not the person who is just simply watching and wants to know some hard-hitting questions. If you want somebody to ask the hard-hitting questions, you know who to go to, and it's not going to be the current people in charge. And besides, who would want to do an interview with you if you keep grilling, or if you grill every guest you have on? That's bad business. But all in all, with that being said, y'all let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. Till next time, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.